Hello everybody and welcome back. Now, before I get into the video, I know it's been like 12, 13 days, and I'll talk about more at the end of the video if you want to know what I've been doing, but I have been pretty busy since I finally got a new job, so of course it's been sort of exhausting for me to get used to the new job and the whole process of doing everything. So that meant that I wouldn't have a lot of time to work on videos or just think of ideas for those videos. But moving on from that, I'll talk about more at the end of the video. What I'm going to be talking about right now is right now with Call of Duty, how bad Call of Duty is doing right now, especially with sort of the new collab that I've seen, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collab. It's not really something surprising, but it just only makes it worse. And to start with, I've criticized a lot of the games that I've played. Rainbow Six Siege, Apex Legends. I haven't made a video on R6, but maybe I might someday. On R6, Apex Legends, and obviously Call of Duty. Even sometimes Fortnite as well. Sometimes they do get shit wrong and just do dumb stuff as well. They're not, guilty free of whatever, like, making mistakes and just doing stupid shit. But with Call of Duty, or at least with the other games, obviously Fortnite's been doing pretty fine. With the other games like Apex Legends and R6, at least recently, they've actually announced important or like massive changes, at least to the game itself. Of course, Apex Legends has so many problems, like its outdated audio, or like the problems that people have been complaining about for years already about the audio problems, and just the game feeling outdated overall and sort of slow in some way. And at least recently with this new season, they're doing okay. They're actually doing all right with some of the characters, like fixing them. Example, Ash. I've actually been having fun playing with Ash, and some of the other changes like removing helmets, making it more challenging and quick pace in some way. But obviously, there's still a lot of problems with Apex Legends. But at least it's something. It's something they're actually doing something about it, and they might be improving other things overall later on. Moving on from Apex. Next one, R6. R6 is actually going to do a massive change apparently, where they've been working on a huge update for years, secretly in the works for years, which is R6 or R6X, I guess, Rainbow Six X, which apparently will be massive and have a lot of fixes and like things with audio cue or audio or whatever, like the whole quality of everything will be improved a lot. So they're making massive changes, but of course, don't get me wrong, Ubisoft is still doing pretty shit with all the stupid things that they're doing. But at least it's something so far. Call of Duty recently has not done anything to like improve the games or anything like that. And I I don't want to fault Treyarch the entire thing because obviously they are trying their best and sometimes actually are listening to the community as well. It's primarily just Activision that's making it completely garbage. And what I'm talking about recently is, if you don't know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collab came out recently, and for each skin, it's not a bundle. It ain't like Fortnite. There's separate style or separate skins. Obviously, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello, and each of those are separate, which is a total of 2,400 COD points. Now, if you don't know that, that's like $20, or maybe even with taxes, like $22, maybe. I'm not sure. So there's no bundle or anything that maybe you can spend less on. Nope. So you actually, if you want to get all of them, you actually have to spend a total of $80 to get all of those fucking skins. Literally the price, or a little more of the price for BO6, the title of BO6. Do you know how insane and just scummy and greedy that is? Like, seriously. I would sort of understand if it was like a bundle, like two characters, a bundle. One would be like 2,400, another one would be 2,400, like Leonardo and Raphael, or Donatello and Michelangelo. But really, it's not like really something worth it. And of course, don't get me wrong, people are probably gonna say, "Why are you surprised about this?" I'm not surprised. I'm just sad that it still keeps happening. And also, it should show you that again, they never cared about improving anything with like the new BO6. How it was going to change everything. No, it's gonna be the same thing over and over. The cycle continues overall. And what the cycle is, people enjoy the game when it first comes out, they enjoy it. They start realizing, holy shit, there's a lot of problems. They beg the developers to fix it. They don't care. They don't listen. They just continue releasing these stupid things to make as much money as they can. And then people are just begging them to either fix all of these issues, which clearly aren't, or at least make a new fucking game. But of course, they're not going to go and fix their game because obviously they haven't for the past few years. They're going to make another game. And the cycle continues. People are going to enjoy it. They're going to criticize it. They're going to realize, holy shit, nothing has changed. I just hate this game now. It's fucking garbage. There's so many problems. Cheaters are still a massive problem. Boom, the cycle continues. New Call of Duty game every fucking year. It's the same cycle over and over and over. And I don't know, I don't know what you expect to the people that play Call of Duty right now. I don't know what the fuck you expect. This has been a thing since maybe even Cold War. Maybe even if you want to say Modern Warfare 2019, ever since the beginning or the release of Modern Warfare 2019, Call of Duty has had like a massive downhill, or like, yeah, just has gone downhill so fast. It's just so many problems every fucking time. Don't get me wrong, Cold War 100% had a lot of problems, especially when it first released and how buggy it was. But I can understand in some way why. Of course, they shouldn't have released a buggy ass game, but I can understand in some way because obviously that was during the pandemic. But with the recent or the newer games, like the ones after that, Vanguard, MW2, MW3, those fucking games were horrendous. Let's talk about all of them. Vanguard, the worst fucking, I would say, Call of Duty game, or one of the worst Call of Duty games of all time. Multiplayer was complete garbage, buggy, and so broken as well, with all the weapons just being so stupid. And then obviously the campaign, forgettable shit. People might say that it's actually good, but really it's just forgettable. No one actually remembers, oh wow, I had such a great time, I'm always going to forget or remember this campaign from Vanguard. No one's going to remember that. Zombies, the worst. I don't even know. I don't know what is the worst zombies, but it for sure is one of the top three or maybe even top two worst zombies of all time. Because obviously they just gave up on round based, and it was just fucking terrible. MW2. Now, you can say, of course, the campaign, I've seen it. It's actually pretty decent as well. Multiplayer, fucking horrendous. It fucking sucked ass. Then it came the announcement or the release of Warzone 2, when clearly they just didn't give a fuck about that after that, because they just went back to Warzone 1, or just Warzone overall. Just went back to the name Warzone. And overall, everything about it fucking sucked ass. I hated the map, I hated the weapons, I hated everything overall from Warzone 1. DMZ, they abandoned that shit in less than like a year, I would say. So, of course, who cares about that? And then Modern Warfare 3, holy shit, arguably one of the worst campaigns of all time. Maybe up there with BO3, which is surprising because no one would ever expect a new campaign actually being one of the worst up there with BO3, because we all know how bad BO3 was. And at least with BO4, they didn't even bother trying, so at least they didn't waste our fucking time with this. But with Modern Warfare 3 and the campaign, complete dog shit. Multiplayer, I've played it. I actually have played it, and it's okay. I would say it's okay, but there's still a few things like the maps being complete dog shit. I hated the maps. The maps were horrendous, and I just hated it overall. At least with the, like, I guess the weapons and everything was kind of solid in some way. But other than that, I just hated the weapons, and again, it was just the same thing, getting as much money as they can from these stupid collabs like Snoop Dogg and everything, and won't care at all of all the problems with like Warzone, because clearly Warzone has also been going on a massive spiral downhill as well, because it's just been terrible recently. They have just like not been caring at all for Warzone, and some people have said that it should have just been like a separate thing, not just continuing being with a Call of Duty game, just like a separate game mode overall, because clearly with the recent Warzone, with the new Warzone and everything just sucks about it. I've played Warzone recently, or not really recently, but I've played it not too long ago, and I fucking hated it. So, I don't know about you, but I feel like Warzone has really just been irrelevant ever since Warzone 1, ever since Cold War, in my opinion. I think when the release of Caldera, I guess with the Vanguard shit, it really was at the time when I said, yup, fucking Warzone sucks ass. Warzone is just fucking terrible now. I don't want to play this shit anymore. And the many times that they're trying to bring shit back, like make it fun or something, release new things, I guess, or just releasing old shit back into the Warzone or something, it's just been a massive failure. And I don't know about you, but like, it is kind of sad to see that Warzone has been sort of failing as well with the Call of Duty games. And let me go back to MW3. The reason I would say it's also bad is because if I want to get a Call of Duty game, I want to have the game ones all be good. And the fact that maybe the only solid one that was okay was multiplayer does not mean that it was worth my $70 to fucking spend on. Because campaign, dog shit. Oh, I forgot. Obviously, I forgot because, you know, Zombies DMZ is forgettable shite. The most boring shit ever is so bad. Like, honestly, I'm just baffled with how boring Zombies DMZ was, honestly. Maybe I enjoyed it for, like, maybe the first few days, maybe the first few weeks, but after they just abandon it again, like they did with with the DMZ, of course, it just got extremely fucking boring. The only reason that you would probably want to play that is to get a lot of XP. That's the only reason. And obviously, not many people would even want to play that either way. So, the past or the recent Call of Duty games have been complete dog shit. Don't even get me started on the cheating problem. Like, the cheating problem is so fucking bad right now, but it's always been a problem overall ever since like Call of Duty Cold War. I feel, yeah, ever since Cold War, it's been such a huge problem, especially in Warzone. Don't even get me started with Warzone. There's been so many ways that cheaters have just found ways to make the game even more broken and unplayable. For example, with BO6 right now, somehow cheaters have now found a way to use the fucking ice staff that's supposed to be only in zombies. Do you realize how insane that is? Some weapon that's supposed to be exclusive, that's obviously not supposed to be in Warzone, is somehow in Warzone when it was only supposed to be in zombies. How weak is their fucking system, or how little are they trying with their anti-cheat system? How bad is it? Because I know for a fact their anti-cheat system, the Ricochet or something, is a big fat lie. They always pull numbers out of their ass and say, "Oh yeah, we've banned over like hundreds of thousands of players every year. We're trying so hard. Cheating is not allowed in our game," or something like that. When, yeah, totally, I totally, 100% agree with you. As if there isn't just some random fuck actually just using the ice staff in Warzone. Like, seriously, it's so bad. Like, it actually blew my mind when I somehow saw that people were just able to use the ice staff. And then, of course, they're now also able to kick out people out of servers, if they're ever in their server, or like, I don't know, game or something. Cheaters can just kick you out of their server or whatever server you're in. So that's really fun and very, very fair, in my opinion. I think the game 100% does not have any problems, no bugs, no cheater problems, nothing. It's just perfect the way it is. Am I right, Call of Duty fan base? Yeah, let me just give them another $500 for the fucking week. If you want changes, stop giving them money. And if you want to take the extra step, stop playing the game. But mostly, attack their money, because that's the only way they listen. The only way they listen is if we attack their wallets, because that's what they're only going for these days for Call of Duty. They're only going for the money overall. They don't care about fixing the game, because clearly it's been showing with the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collab and with all the problems with BO6 right now. With Warzone, with multiplayer, with just cheating overall, it's been terrible. And the player count overall has been just declining ever since like maybe January or something. It's just been on a massive decline ever since then. From what I recall, every so minutes there's like 46,000 players, and then maybe like 50,000 or more every 24 hours. If I'm just gonna pull these numbers out of my ass, if I'm including like console, like Xbox and PlayStation, I would probably say like another 40 or 50,000 each. So that's maybe like 150,000. So don't get me wrong, that's still tons of players, and that's still a lot of players. So they're obviously still making a lot of money from those fucking players. But of course, that's also not a good look with the way they're losing so many players, especially with Steam. Primarily, Steam is losing a lot of players because of that, because of how bad it is on PC. So, of course, people are still going to play that game anyways, and people are still going to spend a lot of money anyways. So, I don't know about you, but the problems will never get fixed because of that. It will never get fixed because people are still spending so much money on this fucking game when it doesn't even deserve the money that we have. We've worked so hard on money that we earn, and yet we get a shitty fucking game that's a total of like $70 to maybe $100 if you buy the Vault Edition, just for one giant buggy mess, especially with a giant higher up that won't even listen to the community at all. At least with Epic Games and Fortnite in some way, they actually sort of listen to their community at times at least. Apex Legends, ooh, if they have one of the worst ones. EA, but at least Respawn is trying in some way. And then R6, oh, don't even get me started with Ubisoft, they're fucking horrendous. But at least with this new update, with the developers working on R6X, at least it probably is going to be massive for the game and very game changing to the game overall. But what about Call of Duty? Nothing has changed. They haven't announced any massive update. They haven't announced any massive change to the game that will improve the game overall. They have not announced anything like that. And it saddens me, it really does saddens me, because the fact that I thought that these other games that I've mentioned wouldn't ever improve at all, and they're actually sort of improving in some way, even if it's just very little, it surprises me that Call of Duty can't do that. It really does. Because I've really had hope that in some way Activision or something like that will actually sort of listen in some way and realize that these games do have potential, but it's really just on you guys that you won't improve anything. And then the fucking fan base of Call of Duty as well, you also are at fault in some way because you're giving them all that money. So if you're still giving them all that money, then clearly, what's the point of them fixing the game at all? Because you idiots are still buying these items, and obviously they're not going to improve them. Can you blame them, honestly? They're still making a lot of money, so what's the point of even wasting time on fixing these things if you guys are still going to buy all these fucking items anyways? So, I can't even blame them. They're still making so much money and so much bank because these fucking idiots are still buying so much money from all of this. So if you want to, combat something like this, give them harsh criticism. Obviously, don't bully the developers. Give them harsh criticism. Call them out. Make this sort of like a protest in some way, to boycott them and make them start actually fixing their fucking games. And if you want to take the extra step, stop playing the game. Of course, people have probably stopped playing the game because they just don't like it overall, or maybe are also trying to combat something like this, like boycotting them or something. But people have also said that boycotting never works. When yes, it has. It's been an example for many other things. Like an example, I guess, like with Starbucks, they have obviously been boycotted for for reasons, obviously, and people have said, "Oh, it's not going to work." When clearly, recently, they have said that they've lost like $15 million because of the boycotts alone. So clearly, boycotting does work. It just means that you actually have to try with that as well. So I don't think it's that hard for you to actually spend money on something that's actually good, on any other better game than fucking Call of Duty, especially with how much of a mess it is. So there's so much to fix on Call of Duty overall. But of course, they're not going to fix anything. They're just going to move on to the next game. And maybe with the next game, what is it, like BO2 Remix or something like that? The new one that's going to come out. I'm not sure if it's the next one. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be very sad to know that them will end up being very bad as well in some way. Because they won't fix anything. They won't fix anything. They won't ever fix anything because people are still buying all their things that they offer. Even if it's extremely overpriced, they're still going to buy all those things anyways. So it doesn't matter, and I can't blame them that they're just still gonna, not fix anything. I can't really blame them. I really can. I wouldn't even fix anything either if, I was still earning a lot of money anyways. But moving on from that, it just saddens me. It really just does saddens me, or it makes me very sad that Call of Duty has just been going downhill ever since maybe Cold War. Even with Modern Warfare 2019. I don't know about you, but I feel like the downfall of Call of Duty has really just begun ever since 2019. And don't even get me started. Warzone 1 was also a buggy mess as well when it came out. And obviously they were just going for making as much money as they can because Battle Royale used to be very popular back in Warzone 1. So obviously they were going with all the money as well and just ignored all the problems with the cheatings as well. So who can blame them? I also want to say, I know I'm being really harsh on like the fan base of Call of Duty and everything because I understand people really do like Call of Duty, and no matter what, even if it's a buggy mess or something like that, people will still enjoy the game. But you need to understand as well that your games will never improve if you just continue on accepting this and just let them get away with something like this because it's only going to get worse. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to provide an example with Fortnite. Obviously we've had a lot of problems with Fortnite, especially with the community itself, and sure maybe the higher ups as well, with like the developers messing up in some way. And yes, it's understandable to like criticize them in some way respectfully and tell them what's wrong or what's right with this, but also don't bully the developers. That's only going to make it worse. And I also want to have the same thing as well. Do not bully the developers working on Call of Duty because I know there are still people out there working on Call of Duty that are passionate on what they do and really just want to earn money from all the hard work that they do on these games. But it's also important to give them harsh criticism so they can improve this game or in these games. Don't get me wrong, the Fortnite community has been very, very toxic and very fucking spoiled from what they have done. I remember back then, like in Chapter 5, they were bitching about how they changed the moving, like how you can run now. It was so fucking stupid and actually made me like really annoyed in how stupid the Fortnite community was at times. But again, I'm not going to shill any developers like Epic, Fortnite developers. I'm not going to show them. I'm not going to bully them. I'm going to give them criticism. The same thing that we should all be doing for the Call of Duty developers as well. And even the higher ups. The higher ups can go fuck themselves. Fuck those guys. Fuck you, Activision. You pieces of shit, honestly. Fuck you for ruining my fucking favorite game. One of my favorite games of all time. Fuck you for ruining them. Especially with the Black Ops game. The way you've just been able to ruin these fucking games. Even with you not actually like sort of fully running it. I hate how much they've just fucking ruined these games overall. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and now I want to sort of talk about what I've been doing. So obviously, I did get a new job. I have been putting the fries in the bag, and it's been sort of exhausting. It has been exhausting for me because I've obviously hadn't had a job for quite a few months, maybe close to a year. So obviously, it was pretty exhausting for me to get used to the new job that I have. And yes, I work at a restaurant. The restaurant's pretty cool, and I guess I'll tell you guys, I work at a Five Guys. Five Guys is pretty cool overall. The managers overall are pretty cool, and I really have been sort of enjoying everything on what they do. Actually giving high quality food, unlike McDonald's with their shitty, average, mediocre food that they don't care about. They're just in it for your money. At least with Five Guys, they're actually taking the extra step on every single thing that they do. Honestly, with everything, their burgers, their fries, every single thing. But of course, that does also mean a lot more work for me as well, since I do get like quite a few hours on my shifts. So it has been sort of exhausting for me at times, and I didn't have the energy to even bother making a video. Even with my like 3 day break or something, I didn't feel like making a video during that time because I really just wanted to relax from everything, because I sort of felt overwhelmed when I first started doing everything. So I felt overwhelmed, and I felt like I could actually take a break from my job overall. But it's been enjoyable and actually interesting with everything that I've been doing. It has been sort of busy at times, but it's a good experience from everything. And if you ever wanted to, I guess maybe work at a restaurant, because it's not really a fast food restaurant. If I guess I would say they don't really consider themselves a fast food restaurant. If you want to start off with a job like that, I would say Five Guys is a good way. Obviously, it provides you with quite a good amount of benefits, especially with free food. But it's really good, and I've been enjoying myself just working overall, because obviously I'll be able to make money and maybe improve the quality of my videos, who know, and someday, and just be able to spend things that I want on and help my family out, because that's one of the things that I really need to work on, helping my family out from everything. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my tech talk. I hope you enjoyed my harsh criticisms on Call of Duty, especially with how bad their numbers have been doing recently, and just how bad it's been doing recently overall. And I'm making this video just by saying I wanted to make this video because I genuinely want to have hope. I want to have hope for Call of Duty overall. I still want to have hope that they can still continue making good games, but it's not looking good overall. It really isn't. The higher ups are not making it easy for them. Any of the actual developers trying to work hard, they're not making it easy for them to actually show their passion on these games. And these problems are just showing as well, because people at this point don't even care about the Omni movement anymore. The thing that BO6 was really trying to go for with the new multiplayer and everything, showing them off, was the new Omni movement. But I've just been seeing that people don't care about it anymore, or just don't even like it anymore too as well. So it hasn't improved at all, and it's only been getting worse, honestly, for BO6, and it might still get worse as well. Who knows? Maybe in some way they'll actually start realizing that all these fucking players that they lost could have been even more billions, and maybe eventually they'll actually start, listening to us as well. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking things right out of my ass. Honestly, I might just be mumbling a lot. But I'm trying to say all of this from the heart, honestly. I'm saying all of this from the heart. I'm not, hating on other developers or anything like that. I don't wish them, like, the worst or something like that. I want them to improve these games, and I want to criticize them for what they've done. The things that were bad and the things that were good. Especially with zombies, and at least actually treating the game as well, or, like, treating the game mode, treating it well, giving it the respect it deserved for quite a while. At least they're actually giving a shit about zombies. That's something that they should be doing as well with multiplayer, or even Warzone, because obviously people still like playing Warzone. And who knows, maybe one day, I highly doubt it. And one thing I also want to mention, if Verdansk, actually fails, because apparently the Verdansk map is going to come back. I don't know when, but they've said it before. If it comes back, and it also fails because Apex Legends failed with their OG Royale, if it fails, honestly, then that means that the game's done with. It really is, because obviously people are going with nostalgia with Fortnite, people going with nostalgia with OG Royale. If this fails overall, then Call of Duty is done with. It really is. It really shows that they can't improve on anything, and they won't be able to do anything because they've tried with this nostalgia bait or whatever, bringing back old Verdansk and everything, and yet still not fix any of the problems. If this fails, it's over for Call of Duty, in my opinion. I think it really is over. Sure, don't get me wrong, it's still going to have hundreds of thousands of players, tens of thousands of players, and that's still a very healthy amount of players. But they're not going to be doing good overall, and they'll definitely just be losing all the players that really respected them overall, and they really lost a lot of players that really respected them as well already. But it's only going to get worse. So unless this, I guess this could be a massive change. I guess you can consider this the massive change. If this fails, then it's really over. It really is over, and we'll never get a good Call of Duty ever again. We really won't. Even with their rage bait as well, with like a BO2 remix or something like that, like a remastered or something. If that fails too as well, then there's no hope. There really isn't no hope. But I'm not trying to be negative with that. I'm hoping that they'll actually not fuck up with that and actually fix all these problems. They can just fuck right off with their stupid Ricochet anti-cheat and actually work with better anti-cheats. Don't get me wrong, all these other games that I've mentioned also still have their fair share of problems with cheating as well. But Call of Duty is just laughable at this point. Like, seriously, the ice staff in Warzone. Like, tell me that's not fucking insane. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my TED Talk. I hope you enjoyed, I guess, my rant on everything. I just really want a new good game. I really want a good Call of Duty game now these days. And BO6 could have been that, but that's just them fucking up. Activision is just messing everything up. They're not letting the hardworking developers make this game good. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.